the more than 60 years now as a student leader and as a leader in other capacities. Therefore, I've been following, and I never saw Gromyko coming here. He was the foreign minister for a long time. He never came. The other leaders, Kosygin, never came. But you have come, so we welcome you here. However, the fact that no high-ranking Russian leader has ever come here, Russia has been supporting the anti-colonial African movement for the last 100 years. I've informed you in our private meeting that by 1900, the whole of Africa had been colonized, except for Ethiopia. Africa had been colonized partly because of our internal weaknesses. We had feudal chiefs who were incapable, who could not defend our independence, who were incapable, who could not defend our independence. And Africa had been ravaged by the slave trade for almost 400 years before the colonization of 1900. When the African chiefs failed to defend our independence, the Africans started organizing, led by new forces. And the first group was in South Africa in 1912, when the African National Congress was founded. That was now the modern African anti-colonial resistance movement. Fortunately, and that's how Russia comes in. In 1917, a new force took over Russia. These were the Bolsheviks. I don't know what problems you have with the Bolsheviks, whether you like them or you don't, but for us, we appreciate them because they supported us. They started supporting our anti-colonial struggle. And that is our relationship with Russia. Russia, so the Soviet Union, supporting the anti-colonial movement in Africa. Then in 1949, we were also lucky to have a new force, the communists, taking over China, the big country of China. And again, they supported us. Then we had some other socialist countries, Cuba and so on. So therefore, whenever issues come up, and some people want us to take positions against Russia, we say, but you people, these people have been with us for the last 100 years. How can we be automatically against them? We have even forgiven our former enemies, the colonialists, the ones who had colonized us, the ones who had actually taken slaves from here and did bad things. We have forgiven them and we are working with them. How can we be against somebody who has never harmed us and who instead helped us?
This crazy 139 Australian dollar drone is going to be...
When the Russians make mistakes, in 1968, I was in the university and I was in the streets in Dar es Salaam demonstrating against Brezhnev's decision to invade Czechoslovakia to overthrow Alexander Dubček. So, if Russia makes mistakes, then we tell them, like we did. in 1968. But when they have not made a mistake, we cannot be against them. So this is point number one. This is the historical context which those who are ignorant about world affairs should know. Because there seems to be a lot of ignorance in world affairs. People have very limited understanding of philosophy, of strategy, which we don't accept. For us, we have got our clear position as part of the African Liberation Movement. We know who is who and who is doing what and why, and we know where we stand. Coming to today, we have got a lot of potential. Of course, we have been working with Russia and with the Soviet Union before, especially in the areas of security. Our first Air Force was trained by Czechs. We used to buy equipment from Czechoslovakia, and then the Soviet Union itself, and we have been working with them on the security field. We want to trade with Russia, we want to trade with all countries of the world. We don't believe in being enemies of somebody's enemy. No, we want to make our own enemies, not fight other people's enemies. This is our doctrine. When there was the Cold War, one day they asked me a question: are you pro-East or pro-West? I said, you must think I am an idiot. Why do you think my main job is to be pro somebody? I am pro myself. And I deal with all other people according to how they relate with my own interests. These people think we are stupid. Such a question is an idiot question. It's not my job to be pro-East or pro-West. I am pro myself. And I deal with people according to how they relate with me. So this idea of rivalry is really something we are going to have to discuss with it's not part of our liberation movement strategy. No. The African Liberation Movement. Otherwise, we should be quarreling with those who colonized, who took slaves from here. We should be having quarrels with them. Why did you take slaves? Why did you colonize us? We should be having enmity. But we forgot about that, and we are moving forward. Why? Because we want win-win cooperation in the world.
First, you've talked a lot about friendship between Uganda and Russia. What are the aims of further cooperation between the two countries? And also you've mentioned that back in the Cold War times, they ask you a question whether you are a pro-West or pro-East, and we know your answer. But unfortunately, today, this question is also often asked, as we see the West is basically trying to put pressure on all the countries, trying to work together with Moscow and actually openly sanctioning Russia's partners. As a country openly declaring that Moscow is a friend, does Uganda feel this pressure? And ahead of Mr. Lavrov's visit here, did anyone maybe approach you asking, for example, not to take pictures with Mr. Minister like we've seen in Egypt, for example? Thank you so much.
Nobody can tell you such a question, because they know my position, they know our position. Maybe they tell others, but not us. So people can't be so stupid as to ask me that don't take a picture with so and so. Don't. That's a joke. Thank you.